This is the 15th part in my project to recreate Kings Island in Parkitect. In this video, I set out to recreate the world's longest wooden roller coaster, the Beast. Right here, I'm just trying to recreate the path that leads to the Beast, and then afterwards, I started work on the queue. In real life, the Beast opened at Kings Island in 1979 at the cost of $3.2 million. This coaster has a height of 110 feet, a drop of 141 feet, a top speed of 65 miles per hour, and a record-breaking 7,361 feet of track. This truly is one beast of a ride. Once again, if you see my screen go black, that's just me switching monitors to look at Google Earth. I'm using satellite view in Google Earth on my other monitor to get measurements for paths, track, and buildings. This helps me be much more accurate to the real-life counterparts of these rides. Due to the way that the coaster builder in Parkitect works, this recreation isn't going to be 100% accurate. I am completely unable to recreate certain angles of the track because of how the coaster builder works. Some parts of this ride might have a 30-degree angle or a 75-degree angle, but Parkitect only allows 45-degree turns and 90-degree turns, nothing in between. This adds a lot of challenge to the recreation, and it also means it isn't going to be perfect, but I think it still turned out pretty well. Right here, I use Google Earth satellite view to get the measurement between the bottom of the lift hill and the peak of the lift hill, but I got the angle wrong, so the lift hill is way taller than it needs to be, which I'll fix later. If you haven't been on this ride in real life, let me just tell you this is one of the longest and slowest lift hills I've ever been on. It's really quite bizarre. Now I have the lift hill fixed, but the lift hill's at such a low angle that it uses drive tires instead of a chain lift. And it makes it look kinda goofy, but oh well, there's not much I can do about it. Now, quite frankly, the Beast doesn't really do much. Its layout's pretty bland, it's just a couple of turns, dips, and straight sections. So in all honesty, it wasn't very difficult to recreate this layout. That's nothing against the ride, and trust me, I'm not trying to bash it. It's just the truth that there aren't many elements on this ride. But that just makes it simpler to recreate, so that's okay. Like I said before, the Beast has a really bland layout. There's not a whole lot to this ride. A great example would be this part of the ride I'm trying to recreate right now. This is just hundreds of feet of straight track. I'm not exactly sure why. I believe some portions of the straight track have trim brakes to slow the ride down if needed, but the majority of it is just nothingness. I think this part of the ride just really encapsulates how strange of a ride this is. Whether or not it's good or bad, you can't really find anything like this at another park. This ride might not be my favorite, but it's definitely really strange and really quirky. The one difficult part about this recreation is the terrain. The Beast really utilizes the terrain in its layout, so I try my best to recreate the terrain to stay faithful to the real-life counterpart. I'm just using the official Kings Island Beast POV to get a glance at the terrain. I'm just trying to recreate how the terrain looks in the official POV, so it's not going to be perfect, but it still looks good in my opinion. Now I know in this part of the video, the terrain looks really choppy, and you can see the transitions really easily, but I go back later and try to fix it up a little bit. The height transitions in the terrain look much better later, trust me. Now once again, due to the way that the coaster builder in Parkitect works, it's hard to recreate some angles. So there's a couple turns in this ride that aren't there in real life, but I'm just using those to position the second lift hill in the area that I want it in. Now this part of the ride, right here that I'm recreating, is my favorite part of the Beast. This is the legendary helix at the end of the Beast. I like this part because it actually has some good forces to it. This helix has some crazy lateral forces. I can't think of any other ride with such strong lateral forces. It's pretty intense. Now the world's longest wooden roller coaster wouldn't quite be complete without one of the world's longest brake runs. This brake run is massive, it stretches for hundreds of feet, and it feels like it never ends. There's brakes all along it too, so you slow down to a crawl and it takes nearly a minute to get to the end of it. Right here, I'm just working on the terrain some more to make it look a little bit better than it did before. I'm also trying to blend the two terrain levels together. Now that the ride itself is done, it's time to work on the buildings surrounding the ride, the roofs over the queue, and the station building. Now in real life, the beast is completely surrounded by trees, so this recreation wouldn't quite be complete without trees. And I mean a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if I placed close to 1,000 trees in this video. And once again, feel free to use any of the rides featured in my recreation videos in your own Parkitect park. There's a link to my page on the Steam Workshop in the description of this video. Most of these rides are featured on there, and you're free to use any of them. And here is the final product. Well, that's all for this part of the project. If you'd like to watch more parts of this project, there's a link to the playlist in the description of this video. Like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.